Good day. This video, I am focusing my message to HR, training department, executive responsible for delivering of projects, talent management, learning and development, regardless what position in the organization that is responsible for organizational development and maybe training and development. And the question is, where should you invest your money? And in relationship to this question, what is the ROI, the return on investment on the amount you invest into people or organizational development? And in relationship to this question as well, how long will that investment last? What would the product life cycle of that learning or development opportunities that we will be discussing? So the question is, where should you invest in terms of people and organizational development? And here I'm going to be discussing two options. One, which is the popular option, which is PMP Certification. Which is globally and especially in our region here, that seems to be the most popular route. And the other option is about investing, instead of investing into PMP certification or training, invest into building your organizational project management system or tailored methods. I'll step out and let you think about this question for a minute. Which investment give you higher return on investment and will last longer? Its impact to the organization is longer. Maybe I didn't emphasize this word before. The interest here is investment for the organization. So we're talking about return of investment to the organization, not the individual. And we are talking about lasting impact for the organization. These are the questions that I will be addressing here. And of course, I'll give you my recommendation, which many of you who probably follow me already know what the answer for this. Okay, so you got the picture? Let me erase and give you some more information. So we will have certification, as the first route. What is the cost? What is the investment? Again, assuming it's an organization, and typically what we see here in our region, and some of the numbers I will share with you are based on the GCC or UAE, Saudi, maybe in this area, based on some of the salaries that we've seen, and maybe more toward the international organization or maybe the government organization. What is the investment to certify or to train people for? Usually a typical class here, we've seen some organization put up to 20 people, okay? 20 people in a class. What is the cost? Obviously, I cannot give you an exact number because it varies greatly, depend on the training company, depend on the salaries, and depend on many, many other factors. However, we've done some rough calculation, and we look at external cost, right? We have external, and we have internal. And the external cost is typically the training provider, venue, books, study material. And surprisingly enough, this cost is only about 15% of the total cost, plus or minus. So this external cost, what you pay provider, and whether you use a cheap provider with very low cost or you use maybe an expensive provider, the range is in that ballpark, maybe 10 to 15, maybe a little bit more. Of the total investment. And if we look on the right side, I'm going to use the blue here. And by internal, what we mean is your people cost. I know this is a hidden cost, and usually you don't charge, your employee don't charge you, but basically your employee are investing time into the training or preparation. And let's be fair here, the training is most likely on company time, taking the exam is on company time, and most likely at least some of the study and the exam preparation is on company time as well. I forget to include here, there's the PMI fees as well. So here is usually the cost is people time. That's not zero cost. That is real cost because the employee is spending time on this instead of doing other work, productive work. Now, obviously, some companies may allow more time to study. Some companies said, no, you have to study on your own time. But to be fair and honest and transparent, a lot of people study on company time. So what is the total cost of this? Well, what we came up with is the range, total cost, internal and external, of about 50 to 100,000 dirham, real, something like this. Now, some people might question this number. I will be happy to send you a spreadsheet and plug your own detailed information. Assuming, again, I'm assuming here international organization or government organization with some kind of an average salaries. Obviously, again, in some countries where the salaries are much lower than maybe the UAE or Saudi, the numbers will be lower. But in general, that's what we have seen. So basically, if we close this option, how much it costs to invest, or how much does it cost to invest into 20 people in training? About 1 to 2 million dirham. Now, the question is, do all these people become certified or achieve the PMP? Our observation and data that we have in this region, probably 30% success rate. Now, when I talk about success, I don't mean how many people succeed in taking the exam. I have to look at these 20 people coming to take a PMP class, how many of them will actually take the exam, and how many of those taking the exam actually pass. So the net result, what would be the percent of PMP in relationship to the people study? I will be surprised if it is more than 30%. And the success rate, definitely, I know a lot of people will tell you 100% success rate. Unfortunately, I have to be honest here and say they're not telling you the truth. And don't believe us, challenge them, ask them to prove that they have actually 100% success rate. So in reality, you are investing, maybe depend, of course, if people don't study, it doesn't cost you that much. But assuming these people study, it costs somewhere in this range. Now, let me assume, for argument's sake, that all 20 become PMP. And here is the real question for you. If these 20 people become PMP, when they come back to work, they just learned some new skills. Are they allowed or given the opportunity to improve or develop the organizational project management system? Are they developing a methodology? If it is, then that investment might be well worth it. However, if they are not invested, then basically you just got your people to learn a new language that they cannot use at work. So the question here, I cannot answer for you, you have to answer yourself as organization. if these people that pass the exam or at least got trained, are they given the opportunity to improve or update or develop a methodological approach in the organization? If not, maybe you should ask yourself, why not? So that's investment one. What's investment two? Well, investment two, I'm not going to explain much on it. What do you think it would cost to build a methodological approach to manage your projects? Do you think it will cost more than 2 million dirham? Well, obviously, I cannot give you an answer either, because it all depends on the organization and how much you want to do and how much detail, and whether you're going to depend on external resources or internal resources. But it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, do you think it's going to be more than 2 million? And for argument's sake, let's say it is 2 million dirham. Okay? Then you have two investment here. Option one, PMP certification, about 1 to 2 million dirham. Option two is building a methodology, 1 to 2 million dirham. So in terms of amount invested, is similar. Now this is the question. Which investment will give you a higher return on investment? That's the first part of the question. The second part of the question, which would have a lasting impact? What do I mean here? Which would last for a year or 10? The questions are for you to answer and to consider. Thank you.